All right, welcome everyone to the take two. Welcome everyone to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast. Want to welcome back to the show, at least for an evening or two, Mr. Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks. You can follow him across all social media at PoliticalBillSC. Also, welcome back to the show, Bill's potentially best project ever. Amanda, of course, from how long ago? Months, right?
It's been a hot minute since she was last on.
Yeah. Amanda, nurse in New York State. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. I'll try not to talk quite as much about cults.
Amanda's my eldest daughter, and she came down to Greenwood, South Carolina for a few days to visit her old man.
Hanging televisions. How did that go today?
It went very well.
Yeah.
We make a good. We could do go on a reality show and make a living out of this.
Okay.
Father daughter fix upper reality show.
But we both have ADHD, and so we have to try each step a couple times before it actually works.
Is that a fact?
Because we don't read the instructions.
The wall has about 72 holes in it now, but at least the TV is up.
The TV is up. Yeah, it's solid.
I have a television downstairs that I have to assume that the what is the meter thing that the
stud finder?
The stud finder.
The meter thing.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. It's going to be Barrett charades today.
I told you I learned everything about home improvement the last few months. I have all the answers.
Well, the stud finder was not accurate. I had to replace the stud finder. But before I did that, I did have a stud finder that would identify everything except for the studs. And in a line, I have probably about 10 or 11 test holes trying to find the studs. So that sounds like what you all did.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Yeah.
You're right. It basically was telling me the entire wall was made up of electrical cables because the AC light kept going off, and it would go off the entire duration of the wall. So I had to ignore that and go with where the stud was found, and it seemed to work, and nobody was electrocuted, didn't lose any power. So life is good.
I've come to the realization that the aluminum ductwork that moves air from upstairs to downstairs or vice versa or whatever, that actually holds incredibly well when you put screws through it too. So
wouldn't know. Don't have
so
central
Barrett, you've been doing this solo for about a month now.
Here we go. Yes, sir.
And how's that been
February,
like?
End of February.
Yeah.
How's it been?
How's it been? I mean, have you had good feedback? Have you felt good about it? Has it taken a while to get back into the solo career? I'm curious because I have not had time to watch these kind of daily shows, so I really don't know how it went. I watched a few, but
been
not
busy.
really enough to get the whole thing.
I think that it has gone fine. I think that it has gone well, and by that it allows me to really do like I was trying to be fairly consistent with my blogging. In my frustrations of the world and writing about things, but I kind of made a decision that I would just script out about a 25-30 minute blog.
So you write this whole thing in advance, and you're essentially using the script. Are you going freestyle now?
Yeah.
Okay. Aside from tonight.
Yeah.
But when you're solo, it's scripted.
Yeah. It
doesn't feel that
scripted.
way. So
Really?
you're pretty natural. It feels like you're riffing.
Hold on.
Just from the bits
all
that I
about
saw.
nothing, or what about?
I don't
Was
know
that
if
a
you
toilet
can
flush?
No, it's people cheering.
Sounded like
for
a
me.
toilet flush.
It was
Now,
people
you
cheering
had
for me.
teased before I had, when I had announced that I was ending, at least temporarily, to go focus on the campaign.
Yeah.
You had teased that you had found a bill replacement, and I had not seen a bill replacement materialize. Why is that?
That is because of the 3 people that were potentially going to replace you. Honestly, I felt as though they were not suitable. They did not meet. No, I'm kidding.
Don't inflate his ego anymore.
Here's the truth. I got ghosted by all three of them. So
I can see that.
One of them actually indicated that they were concerned about their potential employment and being on anything with me where I voice an opinion and then look at them in the eye and ask for them to agree. Potentially, they felt as though their employment might be jeopardized. So
Nancy Mace refused out of fear that she couldn't continue with her job.
Well,
That's strange.
Yeah, if Nancy Mace and I had been on a podcast together with her yelling at me, I'm not sure how well she would have done that if I wasn't wearing like a TSA uniform or.
Right.
That's a deep throwback to when she was at the Charleston airport and screamed at the airport workers and TSA employees because of her being late to her own flight. So
I don't know if you know the name Nancy Mace, Amanda.
No.
But she is a congresswoman from here, South Carolina, who is the most anti-trans person out there. She regularly posts anti-trans statements and attacks. I mean, and we actually have a transgender congresswoman who was elected, I think, from Maryland, maybe Delaware.
I think I've seen her.
Yeah, and I forget her name, to be honest, and I feel bad for it. But Nancy Mace, made it a point to harass her constantly in the halls. Yeah. And she's a very despicable individual. But she's chosen to go after Muslims and transgender individuals, and that's her entire campaign platform, essentially. So yeah, I could see her as being a great replacement for me. That would have made for some interesting discussions, with Barrett being who he is and all. It would have been tough.
I do often wonder why transgender is so scary for.
It's because they want to be. They're projecting.
They're projecting what it is they want to be.
Yeah.
I still don't get it. It's not quite enough of a reason for me. That's like a lot of things.
Well, the catchphrase is, "Do you want biological men in girls' bathrooms?" Right. That's the whole crux of it, and every one of them, that's the line they use.
Sure.
And so I've never been in a ladies' room before. So Amanda, can you describe to us the wild nakedness and all the activities that occur in women's rooms that if a man walks in that they would be entertained by?
I can give you an example for today. I went to a bookstore, which often triggers the need to go to the restroom.
Sure.
It's a thing. You can look it up.
Because, when you read a book, where do you do it?
Effect.
You do it in the bathroom, right? So it triggers natural responses. I get it.
Right, exactly. So that's happening. I don't think anybody wants to be present for that.
So you're not worried if a man walks in, right?
People wash their hands. That might be the main difference.
I think that what we should do is just convert all bathrooms to gender-free bathrooms.
I've actually encountered those at New York Comic Con.
Yeah?
Where on like the main stage floor where all of the massive booths are, big public bathrooms, both were designated as, for everybody. And I was walking in and out of the bathroom. There were full men with beards. There were women in dresses. There were people.
Women in beards.
Women. I mean, it is Comic-Con,
Yeah.
You never know. But I just went in, peed, opened the stall. Guy walks in. He says, "How's it going?" And that was it. It really was no big deal.
Our house is so progressive. We have the same thing with our bathrooms here in this house. It's any gender is allowed to walk in and use it at any time, and it's, we've somehow gotten used to it.
It's like most people just go to the bathroom to pee and not assault people.
How well, and
we already have laws against assaulting, by the way. I mean, those laws are already on the book.
Yeah,
like you don't have to put on a dress to gain magical entrance to the women's restroom. You could just walk in.
The door opens. Just enough pressure. The door opens.
But just to underscore how ridiculous this is, actually, Amanda and I attended a wedding this weekend that involved a transgender individual. This person transitioned from female to male in the last 5 or 6 years. And to the point where now he's got bald head, beard, and looks and talks like a man. But based on South Carolina law, if he was to be in any government facility or public school or even college or university that's public, he would be forced to go into the women's room. And so now the women in the room are going to see a bald guy walking in with the beard,
And like if it were me, I wouldn't give a shit. I really wouldn't care.
Well, you are in the bathroom giving shit, so you are.
I'm literally giving shits, but I don't give a shit about that.
Making a donation.
I just care if you wash your hands. That's it. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Well, no, trust me. I when I worked in an office, that was one of the things I paid attention to. And I think like the last office I worked at consistently was my previous job. And I kept track of almost every single person, male, that used that bathroom and didn't wash their hands. Sorry.
You're on your track to an epidemiology position.
Well, are you out there with your camera phone, recording and shaming publicly? Are you following that person around? Shame with the bell, clang, clang, shame, clang, clang.
For the important stuff, I sort of have an eidetic memory. And the things I remember were people that would stand at the urinal with their pants on the floor. And I'm like, that's the grossest thing I've ever seen before. Why would you do that? Just hold it up. You got to...
Amanda, let me ask you again, women's room. You're in the stall next to another woman and you're both sitting and doing your business. Does the other woman next to you just engage in random conversation with you while you're going? Okay, that happens in the men's room.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
the men's room, we've got the urinals, and if you happen to have two guys standing next to each other, one will often try to engage the other in conversation.
Why?
I don't know. It happened to me just last weekend. We were at an event up in Greenville at a hotel, and I'm using the facility, and then a lot of guys were in and out. This guy saddles up next to me, and then he starts talking. Hey, so how you doing? I'm trying to do business. That's how I'm doing.
Yeah. It does take,
but women don't do that, huh?
It does take a finite amount of
only if they're very drunk. Actually, I have a funny story about that. At a Yankees game I was at a couple weeks ago, I was standing in line behind a very, very, very drunk woman. And she was telling me all about her birthing story, all about that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, you really trust people you don't know, huh? And she's like, yeah, well, I trust you. I'm like, okay, cool. And then she's like, well, you can come into the stall with me. It's okay. We can go into the stall together. I'm like, no, it's okay. I think you can do it by yourself. And she's like, no, but it's all right. We can go in together. I'm like, no, thank you.
That brings up another question. Yankee Stadium. Do the ladies' rooms have pee troughs?
No.
How do
they each have individual stalls, right? So
yes.
in baseball stadiums, in the guys' room, there's a trough, like a water trough, and there's no dividers, no privacy, nothing. Men just stand whipping their things out, and they pee into this trough that's got this constantly flowing water in it.
Is that why penises are on people's minds all the time because they're seeing them all the time in public? Like, I don't
It's just a row of dicks. Are we allowed to say that? I forget the rules of the show, Barrett. Can we say row of dicks?
No,
I don't remember.
You can say that. So,
okay.
But just to point out, I think, and someone could correct me on this, but I'm almost certain I've not been to the new Yankee Stadium. The old Yankee Stadium definitely had the trough. The new Yankee Stadium, I believe it has separate urinals, and I can speak for here in Columbia, our Fireflies. They play at Segra Park. Those bathrooms
basically the same level as the Yankees, right?
This season, yes, but they have individual urinals with like a little wall divider. What's crazy is the urinals that don't have that wall divider. But I mean, for anybody going into the bathroom, I think we should all basically just stick to the same rule. You're going into the bathroom to perform a task, a necessary biological task. Just do it, and then you wash your hands and you exit. There's really no reason to add any sort of other tasks to that single task. Just
including inspecting genitalia.
Yeah.
Which apparently is on Republicans' minds all the time.
What I'm interested in is the AI summary of this episode when it records the transcript. And I'm giving AI instructions. AI, I want to include row of dicks in the description of this episode. All right, good. I've got it. I'm looking forward to this being published tomorrow. Let's see what happens. And no
Fantastic.
editing, Barrett. That's cheating.
No,
I want to see what it comes up with. Row of dicks.
Good. Yeah, you know it. You know what this show is all about. I promise. There will be.
It's all about rows of dicks now.
100%.
Gotta change the name of the pod.
Speaking of rows of dicks, I do have something I want to share. Only
no.
because.
Oh, are you talking about Republican lawmakers now?
Yeah.
Well, one of them in particular. So I want to play the end of this interview because I found it to be fascinating. He
comes prepared with clips. All right.
I don't. This is a Bill thing. I don't do this typically when it's just me speaking. I make people just listen to me. So I want to share this.
Oh yeah.
But sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they count the votes.
Do you think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging the votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you
continue.
play right into their hands. and
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid.
Let's
You play
continue.
right into their hands with this guy. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But Mr. President,
You know why?
you've never presented
Because you have
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Okay,
Let's
so
talk
it's
about
going a little
elections.
long, but there was specific part that I want to play because when so this is about where it's at. He
CNN.
takes the
But
Mr.
microphone
President,
You're
off.
one-sided, crooked network. So let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
He steps on the
traveled
microphone,
all-
and you can
I know,
hear
I
it
traveled
crunching
all
under
the way
his
to
an hour.
Wisconsin.
girth.
On and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
we
great
traveled
with a
all,
dishonest
listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
What was that?
He stepped on the microphone. It literally crunched.
It crunched under all
his feet.
290 pounds of that thing.
No, sir. He only weighs 243 pounds now, based on the information that they provide from. I think that it was his fourth visit to Walter Reed for a full physical.
This week.
Yeah,
this week. He's getting 4 a week now.
I just have to say that interaction reminds me of almost daily interactions and arguments that I have with, well, I don't argue with them, but with my patients that have dementia, not even exaggerating.
Yeah, I completely agree. That is the type of interaction you have with someone who
Totally not based in reality. Like,
there's the frontal. I have been saying this for months. The frontal temporal lobe of his brain has
melted.
compacted away so much. It's just not there. I mean, I've had friends and I've had a relative that has gone through dementia that eventually turned into Alzheimer's and they passed away when their organs basically stopped communicating with the brain. And he is my concern.
I gotta pause you here, Barrett, because you have since day one, 10 years ago, been predicting the Don's demise.
Yeah.
Like he has been on death's door every episode, going back to episode 100. What are you up to now?
309.
Yeah, this man is going to live forever. So you could talk all you want about how he's crumbling and failing. The guy is going to live to be 127.
Okay, but
I promise you.
if you were in the same shape that he was,
He's got resurrection elixir.
it's absolutely true.
He's already probably died 15 times and has come back to life. You know, we've seen the evidence. You know, people are blown up and dead, but are walking around with no arms and no legs.
Yeah.
Right?
I
We've
remember
seen
learning that in nursing school. Yeah. So
Yeah.
best
People have
kept
died
secret
and
in all
taken this
healthcare.
drug, and now they're better.
Yeah, we call
Literally,
it-
you know, they last rites and children were crying. I mean, we've seen all this. This is true.
They call it the Lazarus
By the way, these are all things Trump said for those that aren't getting my references, but I know you guys get it. These are all things Trump says happen. So I think he's been dead. He's back to life, and he's going to live forever.
I ultimately, the bruising on the hand certainly indicates that they are either doing some sort of blood transfusions or they are providing him with medication intravenously that is basically keeping him propped up.
He gets daily infusion of the blood of a newborn infant.
That's right.
That's what's happening.
That's
the only
why
explanation.
We have to keep having babies.
That's right.
We knew there was speculation before even he was reelected that he was taking enough Adderall that the student population at Cambridge was coming into shortages. So, it's probably true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying it's probably true. But
I'm wondering why you picked on Cambridge. What the hell do they do to you?
Harvard.
You could have picked any school in the country, and you picked Princeton. On Cambridge.
I don't know. I was watching the West Wing, and anyhow, you know what? You're right. I should have picked Harvard because all those comedians that used to work in late night now are unemployed and trying to get their Adderall fix. I just think that Donald Trump is on about 42 days of borrowed time. Eventually, his body is not going to take any more of the medication. It's going to reject
42 days.
Yeah, I think he's on
That's
42
short.
days.
You think he should have expired 42 days ago is what you're saying.
I'm saying a month and a half ago he should have kicked the bucket. Yeah.
Because you said so.
100%. Bill.
No.
You know me.
I think you've been predicting this for at least 365 days.
And you know what? One day I'm going to be right.
Right. Okay. You say it every day. You will be right. Yeah, of course. Of course. But I'm here to say you could say it every day. I bet you will expire before he does. That's where I'm putting my money down.
I mean,
as morbid as it, and may you live a long, long life. May you live to be 90.
He's going to be a jar in a brain in a jar.
Why would you curse me like that? Yeah, exactly.
Genuinely, they're going to upload his consciousness to an AI server.
In a fucking Dixie cup.
How many
need a jar for that brain?
How many AI companies right now are bidding on getting the Donald Trump brain transfer?
I think I've seen a Black Mirror episode about that.
That's jeez. What a world. You know what? I wish that Claude would speak back to me in Donald Trump's voice sometimes. That would be fantastic. Okay, look. Bill told me to come up with topics. I've got topics. Tomorrow, primary day here in South Carolina. Governor's race has been absolutely, and I say this as delightedly as I can, one of the most entertaining political disasters I think I've ever watched unfold.
I think that's true on both sides, both the Democratic and Republican primaries. Yeah. The races for governor have been very entertaining. Now, Republican is a disaster of a different level, but there's not a lack of drama on the Democratic side either.
Yeah. Well, on the Republican side, all of the efforts that they have attempted, everything that the candidates have done, it doesn't seem like a single one of them is able to break 20% in the polling, just based on the polling I've seen. You have Pamela Evett, who basically was telling people for months that she had Donald Trump's endorsement, only to finally get it, about a week and a half ago. And it did a marginal bump. I think it brought her from like 17 to 19%. They're basically, I think
Which tells me 2% of this state were waiting to hear what Trump had to say before they decided. What assholes. Take away their voting rights now. You know what? I used to be for voting rights. Now I'm up for more restrictions. If you waited until that senile, delusional, dysfunctional dementia Don came up with a name, and that's what you were waiting on, remove your right to vote. You've given up the right. Bye.
I wonder how big of a deal is it that, because I don't think she's announced it completely yet, but the rumor is that I have seen a lot is that she is going to select McMaster's son, McMaster Jr. as,
that's done. That's been verified. McMaster Jr. came out and unequivocally said, "I'm not interested. I'm not. Thank you."
For him.
But he said he heard what Donald said, and McMaster Jr. says this is not my time, so he's out.
Okay, all right.
So it's open.
All right.
I wonder if she would pick from any of the other candidates. Like Nancy Mace has been bad mouthing Pam, so she's out.
Yeah.
But Ralph Norman has not. So I wonder if Pam would look at the field and go, you know what, I just won this primary and I'm going to select Ralph Norman as my running mate.
Yeah. I guarantee one thing for certain, we will not know who the nominees are for the Democratic or for the Republican Party tomorrow. We will not know that.
That's definitely sure. You know, and it's a horrible scenario because you have to get 50% of the vote in order to win the nomination. And when you've got 5 candidates running, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's going to get 50% out of that field. And that means we got to have a runoff. And that means the top 2, we have to go back to the polls on 2 weeks from now and run it all again. And all the expenses of how many polling locations do you have in your county, Barrett? You were telling me earlier.
I want to say there's 78, 76, something like that.
All right. And we've got 50 here in Greenwood, and then other counties have hundreds. I mean, all these polling locations need to have a person or persons, actually 3 people paid to sit there for the full day. And all the expenses of printouts and equipment and everything to do a dumb runoff. The amount of money this state burns for these primary elections is ridiculous. We should have ranked choice voting in place yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. Let me tell you something else that's extremely absurd about what will then be the runoff on June 23rd here in South Carolina, or at least in Lexington County. Lexington School District 1 school board election is June 23rd. So we were already going to have elections.
Oh, they actually had a separate election on that day already?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Not waiting until November just to do it in November, because Lexington School Board District
they should have had it on June 9th.
But
with the rest of the election, with the regular election, they should have had it then.
They're special. So I already know that I'm working an election on June 23rd. We actually, and here's the most absurd part, and I think I've described it before for some people, but essentially when people come in to vote, they're going to come in to vote, and they're going to vote in. I'm going to do it so that they're going to vote in the school board first, and then if they still choose, they can then vote in the primary runoff. Because we will literally have to have 2 check-in desks. We will have to have 2 sets of ballot markers.
Amanda, let me ask you. You've been voting for like 3 cycles now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're 29, so you've got 11 years of voting, so just a couple of presidential cycles under your belt. Below the president, were you aware of any of the candidates, school board, city council, county council, any of that stuff? Were you aware of them or not particularly?
I'll be honest, I didn't really look at their campaigns closely, but I have voted in them. And there were not many options. There usually was only one Democrat. There was often only one person running on all tickets.
Well, and to make it more confusing, in South Carolina, our school board elections are nonpartisan. So you have to, there have been some really good organizations that have done deep dives into what those candidates represent, and you can get sort of an idea of the leanings.
If you belong to Moms for Liberty, you have a clue as to what their ideology is.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I actually didn't know what day our polling day was for the primary, and it's June 23rd, interestingly enough.
Oh, in New York?
In Albany County.
So you got to wonder, I mean, you've got Kathy Hochul, is that how you pronounce her name, as your governor? Is she being primaried at all? Is there anybody challenging her on the Democratic side?
Imagine.
I swear to God, if it's Cuomo.
I don't think so. No. But I wonder, does she have any challenges in the primary? She get to skate right through to November.
I do.
By the way, Amanda is from Albany, New York, if you haven't figured that out yet. I know she's dropped some hints.
I wanted to say, for some reason, I kept feeling like it was Utica, but
no.
You're closer to Albany.
I'm in Albany.
Oh, that's where everything gets done, despite the fact that New York City's bigger and consistently. Where does New York City fall as far as economies across the world? Is it number 9, in the world?
As if it were its own country. Yeah. Right.
Let's see. Governor, New York. Yeah, in person. That's registration. So election. I'm trying to see who it is. That's good Lord. The number of bills that are appearing on the New York ballot. Is this right?
Oh, do you vote directly on the bills? Did they go to the general population to be voted on?
There's one
A lot of them, yeah.
provides
Oh,
voters
wow.
with a warning about New York's closed primary system on voter registration forms. So it sounds, you know what? I don't know if this is. I'm looking at Ballotpedia. I try to add a lot more syllables to that.
You brought
than
up
there
an
actually
interesting
are.
topic because here in South Carolina, there's a big controversy about whether primary elections should be open or closed. You know, here in South Carolina, we do not register as a
Right.
Democrat or Republican or independent. There's no place for any voter to declare. So I could walk in tomorrow. I mean, I can't technically because I early voted, but theoretically, I could walk into the primary and vote on the Republican ticket. I mean, that's allowed. I can only vote on either the Republican or the Democrat, but I make my decision right there and then and tell them which ballot to give me.
Right.
I'm curious
in New York,
why,
it's different. You have
to register in the first place.
Well, here's how I look at it. You're there to pick the Democratic nominee. Shouldn't Democrats be picking their nominee? Republicans pick their nominee. Green Party pick their nominee, et cetera. And then you have the general election. I'm actually kind of in favor of closed primaries. I mean, I see arguments against it, but I think that's how it should work.
But then what's the point of voting?
Well,
you already know that you're going to show up and you're going to vote for your person.
No, but there could be multiple people running for the same Democratic nomination.
I kind of agree. I think that having closed primaries and having people register their party. So here's an interesting thing. In 2024, during the presidential primary for the Republicans, there was an addition made to the Republican ballot about it was a survey asking people would they be in favor of registering registering.
Well, that's this year. That's happening right now. That's on this year's primary ballot. Is that question?
But it's always just a survey. They're not asking for a referendum.
Just a survey.
So essentially, what they're doing is it's something that won't matter anyway, because the legislature here in South Carolina is never going to do it, because it would require too much organization from both parties to be able to. Now, I think the Democratic Party would be fine with doing it. I don't think there's most people. I don't think.
I asked Dr. Jermaine Johnson that question.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I says, why wouldn't you want Democrats picking the Democratic nominee and Republicans picking the Republican nominee? Why wouldn't you want that?
Because you want Republicans picking Democrats.
Well, he said, and he actually gave a good response. He says that makes sense, and I would normally agree with you if the districts weren't so gerrymandered to begin with.
Sure.
Because when you've gerrymandered the hell out of the districts, then sometimes the only option you get to choose from is on the Republican ballot. If they've drawn it so that a Republican always wins, then sometimes your only choice is a Republican primary.
Right.
And Democrats don't even run. I mean, ideally, you have fair competitive districts. Each party is able to put up their candidates and they battle it out. Life is good. But that's not the reality here in South Carolina. And, you know, he's got a compelling argument.
The only thing I can guarantee you that would come out of it would just be confusion for the people of South Carolina. I think that if they were required to register with a party and then we get to the primaries, people are not going to have fulfilled their end unless you can literally do it at the ballot. Like you go in the first time that registration is required and you select the party, and then automatically, because all of that information from the e-poll books is pushed up to the state level, it goes through the county and then to the state. If you could offer that type of registration, but people are going to have, buyer's remorse. They're going to want to change it. The only other thing I can guarantee is if you vote in a Republican primary tomorrow, you're going to get a crap ton of Republican mailers for the next election cycle, because that's what happened to me. And I have a recycling bin full of mailers that I didn't look at because I voted early and voted in the Democratic primary. So, and I don't know how many Democrats sent out mailers.
1 second, Barrett.
Yep, no problem. Did Bill lose us?
Yeah, it froze for me, and then it came back on.
Okay, no worries. Bill is working on getting reconnected, but
that's weird. We're on the same Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh, it's just Bill. But essentially, that's what happens. Is if you vote in the Republican primary, your name and information are then added to their registration, and you will get nothing but mailers from Republican candidates. If you do the Democratic Party, then the next election cycle, you'll get nothing but Democratic mailers. So it's such a, I would register. I don't know. That's a hard one, because sometimes I'm disenchanted.
I mean, you can always register as independent and then pick, when you get there, that'll be allowed.
It should be allowed. I don't know that it is, because there are people, there's going to be likely people at a lot of the precincts in Lexington tomorrow that are going to be asking people to sign petitions for the Green Party and for whatever other parties. Like, there's legitimately going to be people asking for petitions to be signed outside of the ballot, outside of the precincts tomorrow. So I don't, they can vote in either one of them. I think a lot of the confusion is also going to come down to the runoffs, where you have people that showed up and voted Republican tomorrow, but then on the 23rd, they're going to be like, I want to vote in the Democrat. Well, you can't, because you voted in the Republican primary. Therefore, you have to continue.
Well, you know what's odd is that if you skipped the vote tomorrow, you can still vote in the runoff.
Right. Yep.
And I think you shouldn't be allowed to do that. I think if you have skipped tomorrow, you've forfeited your right to participate in the primary, and only those that participated should be allowed to participate in the runoff.
Well,
I don't know why they would allow non-voters to just jump in on the runoff.
There
shouldn't be a runoff. I don't even know why I'm
No,
arguing
I
this
agree.
point.
Yeah,
Runoff
there
is dumb to
shouldn't be a
begin
runoff.
with.
We should have ranked choice voting. Ultimately, in the end, that's exactly what we should have.
I think we lost Amanda again. She's frozen on me.
Do we lose Amanda this
she's
time?
back.
I can hear you.
Oh, no, I can see her.
Yeah, no, you were frozen there for a second.
It's your Wi-Fi.
I forgot how much I love this Riverside tool that you use. Forgotten how much I love this thing.
It almost works seamlessly for me. I'm going to say almost.
God bless it. Hey, do we have any comments in the chat anywhere? Anybody paying attention to this live stream?
I had Sarcastic Scourge in not in the live stream here, but over on TikTok. Sarcastic Scourge of South Carolina, who comments on TikTok fairly frequently. Thank you for that. He said they're thankful that they've only gotten 2 texts and 2 mailers. I have blocked probably.
Are you kidding me?
I've blocked 600 phone numbers.
Barrett,
this cycle
during
alone.
this conversation, I've gotten 3 political texts. I just checked quickly when we were, frozen a little bit, and Amanda's frozen again.
No,
Look at that.
I think. What's your Wi-Fi there? She's not moving on. That's all right, Amanda.
Is she not frozen on your end?
Maybe
no.
I'm just staying still.
Yeah, it might be she's just staying still. That's entirely possible. So,
No. I mean, she is stuck. Her photo on my screen is stuck in a smirk. Barrett, you're moving around, but now she's back to live. This software, man, I'm telling you.
I'm wondering if it's not soft. You're moving. It's a little glitchy, but you're moving. We didn't have redistricting here in South Carolina, but New York is still fighting redistricting. Is that something that you hear a lot about, Amanda, in New York State?
I don't know.
Oh, good for you.
So, not in my area. I don't know.
No,
Well, the way New York works, they can't do redistricting until 2028, and and the governor has committed that she will work to get more congressional Democrats in 2028 through redistricting if the Republicans continue with the path that they've continued on here this year. So the reckoning will be due come in 2 years.
It is very interesting. There's a very big complaint throughout, citizens of New York, because the upstaters all complain that the outcomes for New York are decided by New York City, which is primarily Democratic, because they have the largest population in the whole state. And the further north you go, the more redneck they get, even though they represent much less of the population, even though it's a wider geographic area covered. So they feel less represented because they don't like that a majority of people disagree with them.
from Buffalo to Rochester through over to Albany, it is, for me, it's such a weird place to watch people interact. Because
it is weird. I had kids in my high school like driving cars that had Confederate flags on it. It's like, do you know where you live?
Yeah. But it's not racism based on color. It's pure racism based on nationality.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Italians don't like the Polish, and the Italians don't really like anybody. From what I recognize,
you realize I'm Italian.
Okay.
Since when have you identified with Italian? Okay.
Since his trip to
Where
Arkansas.
my mom would make mastichioli for dinner. My mom is a Mazzanti, right? She's a Mazzanti. She comes from a line of Salvatore's.
Bill,
It's Italians in the family. I like pizza. There you go.
I'm gonna make a real hard segue. Bill, did you get your invite to the Freedom 250 UFC match on the 14th?
I did, as a matter of fact.
I
it
did
made
too.
For excellent toilet paper.
I got a media invite. I got a media invite to the
No
UFC
kidding.
match.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Legit. Okay. I was gonna say, pull it up. I want to see it.
Wouldn't that have been crazy for a guy that doesn't like UFC or Freedom?
Are you familiar with
whatever.
the podcast Pod Save America?
Yeah. I saw John Favreau do that same bit. He did get invited.
So John Favreau got an invite, and he was a political speechwriter for Barack Obama, on his staff, and then he created one of the most liberal media empires out there, and he gets this invite to the UFC event, and then a couple weeks later he gets disinvited because they sent it to the wrong John Favreau. There's a John Favreau director, who directed Mandalorian,
Iron Man.
and it was supposed to go to him, because he's a big UFC guy, apparently. So that was a funny story.
I like how in the story how the I guess the whole thing, they backed out of his invite.
Like, never mind.
Yeah, well,
you're uninvited. Actually,
it was much more. It was a much more credible sort of like backing out of his invite, because he accepted the invite. Like, he had booked a hotel and everything. Like, he had booked his plane trip. He was going to go. But the way that they backed out of it was very cordial, which you had to assume did not come from anyone inside of Trump's camp, because it probably would have been, this fucker, he's not coming. Take him off. But
can you imagine how the 250 celebration would have gone if Kamala Harris were president? I mean, how much more dignified, how much more historical, how much bigger it would have been. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have some dumb UFC fight on the White House lawn.
It would have been exactly.
It'd be more reverent.
It would have been exactly the way that Congress had already decided it, because Congress has already laid out all of the money and all of the plans for the America 250 entire thing. Every state is going to have events that have already been funded by Congress. Like, there was already everything in the works.
But where was the Hunger Games in that? I mean, Patriot Games. Where was that in the
Squid Games at this
plan?
point?
Yeah, it's basically Squid Games at this point. I have to assume that some states, I'm not going to name them, not South Carolina, but maybe Arkansas, Mississippi, West Virginia. I assume they were probably still going to celebrate in a manner respectful of the Hunger Games.
I think they're going to celebrate through slave auctions. They're going to resurrect them just for a single day and hold them to kind of relive history.
I do have a request from all of my friends, family that are MAGA. For my birthday next year, I would like, and I will absolutely accept, every $250 bill that you all want to give me. I have no issues with Donald Trump's face being on a $250 bill. As
long as it's in your wallet.
That's right. That is financially backed by the United States. 100%. I'll take any one of them you want to give me.
So I just got a text from my husband saying he's watching the Knicks game right now. And Trump
Oh
is
yeah,
at
Trump's
that
supposed to be
game,
there.
and he's
Got to be
ruining
getting
it.
booed. Is he getting booed terribly?
He just said Trump is at the Knicks game, and he's ruining everything.
Why would you set yourself up for that? Like,
Because he's so delusional. He's still convinced that everybody loves him.
he just sat in an interview with the woman from Meet the Press,
NBC.
where it did not go well. Like, but again, I think that is the dementia.
He forgot.
Yeah, that's the dementia. Like, why does he accept these interviews if they're going to go poorly? He's never going to.
I mean, he's also the same guy that says there's no such thing as bad press.
Well, that is technically true. Having worked in the press, that is technically true, that people would seek out bad press just to get press. But he has his own social media thing. Like, there's no reason for him to constantly put himself out there for. I mean, like, he holds these Oval Office sit downs. I mean, they have to be sit downs at this point. I'm pretty sure he'd fall over if they were standing up. But he does this shit to himself. And when the interviews go poorly, all he does is just blame
Well, he's also a profound narcissist.
Yeah, well, malignant narcissist. Like,
right.
I don't get it. I don't understand that mentality.
So why does JC saying he's ruining it? Like, what I read was that they actually had to close down all the watch parties within a certain radius of Madison Square Garden because of a security risk. You know, people showing up at bars or doing.
Not because of Trump. It's because the Knicks are doing well.
Knicks in 4. Right.
The Knicks are doing well recently, apparently. I don't really know too much, but I guess New Yorkers get rowdy. When they're happy.
So you're saying it was more of a. You're saying they shut down these watch parties not because of Trump, but because of a potential victory celebration in the streets.
I think so. Yeah, like where people are hanging off of streetlights and like opening up.
That's
the fire
Philadelphia. Philadelphia's perfected that. I mean,
exactly
he survives. It's kind of
because they've been doing these kind of like you see like a couple weeks ago. There's like 50 plus police officers standing outside of Madison Square Garden, and the Knicks weren't even in New York. They were in a whole other city.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they still were like prepared for chaos.
But there wouldn't be chaos after a game 1, 2, or 3 victory. I mean, you would have chaos if they won the thing. I get that. But they're not at that stage yet to where they can win the whole thing.
No, Amanda, give us your insight. Who's going to come out of this this playoff championship with the MVP?
Well,
actually, let's do it. Amanda, give me your insight. Who are they playing?
I don't know. Probably a team named after a bird or.
So Barrett, maybe this is not a trustworthy source of opinion here.
No, not at all. I'm literally just regurgitating what somebody else told me. Maybe.
No, look,
if I interpreted it correctly.
Actually, Amanda, I think is it the Spurs? Is it San Antonio Spurs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think they were playing someone in Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's as far as my knowledge goes. Somebody could ask me, well, you know, how many Knicks players do you know? Not a one. How many Hawks players do you know? Asked me 3 years ago. I could have maybe told you, but I'm not sure this year. Like, basketball is just one of those games that I hear the shoes on the floor and I have to change the channel. That's beyond my capacity and my tolerance is that noise.
That's racist.
The shoes on the floor?
Yeah. Yeah, we know why you're changing the channel. Just say it. You're among friends.
I'm trying. In my head, I'm trying to justify your comment, and I'm thinking, I'm like, how many?
I just turned it off because it's boring.
Yeah, see, that's a legitimate reason. But no, Barrett can say that. He had to go right after a black man's shoes, and I just can't think of anything more denigrating.
Yeah, it never occurred to me that it had the scraping of the shoes on the floor had to do with the color of the person wearing them, but I I'm gonna go with that, Bill. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you make me look bad on your temporary return to the show.
I miss this show. I miss coming on.
Sorry, coughing.
Wait, what other topics did you come prepared with? I think we went off on a tangent.
Oh, we went. Look, all the segues I planned only because Bill was going to be here. Like, do you want to hear one of my segues from?
Yes.
So this was. Let me see. So what was the first thing we talked about? South Carolina. This was going to be my segue into South Carolina redistricting. So,
And pass.
yeah.
Pass. I'm so against redistricting.
Here's what I was going to say. And here's the thing. The governor's race didn't happen in a vacuum. A lot of the dysfunction we just talked about connects directly to something that happened right here in Columbia just a couple weeks ago that got a little lost in the noise, and it involves a story that is equally part infuriating and surprisingly hopeful. We need to talk about the redistricting. So that was going to be my transition, which I hope Bill would have been proud of. But we never.
I'm always proud when you transition, Barrett.
Yeah.
I support your right to transition anytime. 100%. No judgment here, my friend.
Okay. I had a sound effect for that. Here, let's see. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it either. Hold on, this one's it. None of them are appropriate. Sorry.
No.
Look, I'm going to transition into an ending. So, Bill, for one, I hope that Dr. Jamila's campaign is going very well, and that she's the presumptive nominee now, right? So, because she had, I think that's one of the things that I noticed. It doesn't seem like there are a lot of Democratic challengers in the primaries. That there seemed to have at least been some sort of unifying. I don't know if it was because of the aliens.
I'm going to have to deny that. That's not accurate. There are
the aliens
in House seats.
Love it.
There are
What?
as many Democratic challengers for House as there were Republican challengers for House.
Are there?
They're out there.
In the
Maybe
state
slightly
House
more
races.
Republican because there's more Republicans in the House, but there are a lot of Democratic challengers where there's multiple challengers and they're in the primary.
Are those because just in the vicinity of
And
my
even
district-
against incumbent Democrats, like, you could
Oh.
have a Democrat already in the seat and another Democrat's challenge. That
Okay.
has happened throughout the state.
Okay,
Yeah. I've been listening to Frogmore Stew, so giving
they're very good.
tip of the hat to Grace
She's very
Cohen,
good.
and she's done everything to interview every candidate from House all the way up to the top.
Yeah,
And the number of people that she's interviewed for House who are running contested on the Democrat side was pretty surprising.
yeah. I gave up on interviewing a lot of the candidates. I got a lot of emails,
Yeah,
but
I
I turned a lot of them away.
It's really hard. And how many times can you ask the same question over and over? You can hear Grace herself was getting kind of tired at the end. She wasn't even paying attention to the respondents, and it's tough.
I some of them I was just like, so how are the roads in your neighborhood?
So I'll tell you, when we went to the Democratic convention, and maybe we'll have to end here shortly, and we can pick this up on Wednesday if I'm invited back.
Of course. The link.
All right, so
still
this is
works.
the only show where I can call the host a racist and come back 2 days later with a smile on the face. I love this show.
I have no judgment of anyone but myself as well. So
You have no spine is what you have, but that's a different point.
hey, look,
Uh,
I've
yeah,
said
I
it
wanna-
before. Everything between birth and death is just entertainment. If you can't find value in the entertainment of
It
it,
is.
sad or good, happy, bad, whatever, what's the point? Anyway,
And
what were you
so
saying?
I want to talk about the South Carolina
You wanna
Democratic
talk about
Convention and how your boy David Sharif did.
Please.
So, but we'll leave that as a teaser for Wednesday.
Oh, well, shit. I thought you were going to tell me now.
Nope.
David Sharif, still the most popular episode I've ever had. That episode still gets probably at least 10 or 15 views or listens every single day.
Well, that's me. I'm just totally riveted to it, so I have it on repeat. I watch it 10, 15 times a day. I can't get enough of that show. That episode was just mind-blowing.
It was confusing, to say the least. So, All right, we'll wrap it up. I very much appreciate you and Amanda coming on, Bill, to spend at least the last evening of her visit with me on this running gag, I guess. I don't know.
I hope I contributed value.
Sure you did. Please. More than me.
Ratings are through the roof today.
I'm sure. Are there any new comments that we've missed?
They've been missed. That's all I
What
can
about
tell
that
you.
one guy? Thanks for watching, one guy.
I mean, there's I don't know. There's 400 likes, whatever. It's Jess is watching us on Instagram. So hi, Jess.
Oh wow.
That's all I can tell you for sure. It says viewers, but it doesn't tell me who they are. Instagram, I can see it because it's over here. So, all right, we'll wrap it up. Thank you, Amanda, for spending some time on the program with your father and I. Bill, thank you very much. Bill, you all have a new episode coming out on Wednesday of Black, White, and Blue in the South.
Yeah, we're hoping so. We're
Okay.
going to talk about the election that happens tomorrow. In fact, I know you and I will talk about it on Wednesday for sure. Some post-game analysis, who won, and what the runoff might look like. We'll make our predictions for the runoff.
Yep.
All right. We'll predict who wins on both the Republican and Democrat side. It should be a good episode.
That sounds good. All right. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can follow Bill at PoliticalBillSC across all social media, and myself at Barrett Gruber. Amanda, do you want to give out your social media, or would you rather?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Fair enough. All right. If you can, give us a 5-star review, leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.
And wash them.
Please.